NFL season is officially almost over. We are heading into week 18. We have just one more football game left, and that's on Monday Night Football in week 17. And then week 18 will be here and it'll all be over. For the most part, it's been a good season, depending on who your team is. If you're a Giants fan like me, it's probably been a terrible season. Yeah, and I can't even lie and say it's going to get better because more than likely for the Giants, it's probably not going to get better, honestly. I mean, it really can't get worse than 3-13 unless they do somehow even worse. But again, it's the Giants. Anything's possible. But in today's video, I am going to be doing my official NFL award predictions video. I did a video like this last year, and there was people in the comments that didn't like my predictions, and I ended up being right on all of them, except maybe one of them, I think. And I'm promising you, I'm probably going to be right on at least all of them, except for one probably again this year. Before we head into the video though, I'm not going to ask you guys to subscribe to my channel, but hopefully by the end of this video, I have earned your guys' subscription. And hopefully by the end of this video, you like it. And you know, maybe hit that subscribe button. It's free, doesn't cost much. Just hit a button. But anyways, without further ado, no more talking, let's go ahead and jump into this. The first award we are going to discuss is Defensive Rookie of the Year. And the first guy I'm going to discuss is Jared Verse. Now here's the thing with the Rams. Nobody's going to replace Aaron Donald's production. That's the best defense player of all time. One of the best defense players of all time. Nobody is going to be able to replace his production like you want him to immediately. But I think Jared Verse could become that guy in the future. Even then, he's still not going to replace Aaron Donald's production, but he could be close to it. This season, Jared Verse has posted a total of 6 sacks, 74 pressures, and a pass rush win rate of 17%. Most people start to ask why I include win rate in a lot of my numbers now, because here's the thing. A defensive player could be getting a lot of sacks, but they're also probably not winning a lot of their matchups and getting their sacks off a bad offensive lineman and just good coverage by their secondary. But having a good win rate means you're consistently winning your matchups, consistently getting pressure on the quarterbacks. Basically, you're getting your numbers, but you're doing the work to get those numbers too. I think Verse, with another good year under his belt, he could have a double-digit sack season next season. Now, there are two other guys who I did consider for this award, but I ended up going Verse for it anyway. Quentin Mitchell is another guy who I did consider. He's been one of the better corners in the league this season, especially in his rookie year, which makes it all the more better. And Shot Robinson for the Dolphins was another guy who I put up for this award. Offensive Rookie of the Year was one that was getting pretty tight over the last couple weeks, but I can say confidently that Jaden Daniels will be Offensive Rookie of the Year this season. Now, I was really high on Jaden Daniels coming into this season, but I think everybody was, and I said if he goes to the right team, he is going to be an exceptionally great quarterback this season. And boy, oh boy, he has been a great quarterback in so many ways than one. He has over 3,530 yards passing, 25 touchdowns to 9 interceptions, and he's also ran the ball for over 800 yards and 6 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels can beat teams in so many ways than one. He has a really good deep ball, and he also can use his legs anytime he wants to get away from pressure and run away with the ball. And that is going to give him so many advantages in the NFL over the course of his career. Honestly, this Offensive Rookie of the Year race was pretty good because even outside of Jaden Daniels, so many other rookies were good, but Jaden Daniels just a lot better. You had Bo Nix, who was good this year. Brock Bowers had an historically good year for a tight end. Brian Thomas Jr. and then Malik Neighbors and Ladd McConkey, but only one person can win this award, and Jaden Daniels, he did enough to win it, honestly. Next, we have Comeback Player of the Year, and I think this easily goes to Joe Burrow. He's having a crazy good year. The Bengals outside of this offense is just absolutely terrible. Joe Burrow's having an MVP-like year this season, but again, because the Bengals are terrible, he probably won't get enough odds for MVP, but he'll probably do enough to win this award. I mean, 4,641 yards, 42 touchdowns to 8 interceptions. That's an MVP-like year, but again, because his team is barely in the playoff race right now, he probably was not going to be considered for it. Justin Herbert is his second favorite, and I think Sam Darnold is, but I'm pretty sure they changed the guidelines for this award, so only players who have overcome an illness or injury can probably win this award now. So I think it's between Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert in this regards, and Joe Burrow is probably going to win it. For Coach of the Year, I have Kevin O'Connell. Everybody thought when J.J. McCarthy got hurt, it was over for the Vikings. They were not going to do anything this season. And then Sam Darnold came in and had a very close to MVP-like season this season. And he has the Vikings at a 14-2 record. And they have a really good chance at winning the first seed in the NFC if they can beat the Lions in Week 18. Their defense is pretty good too. So in reality, Kevin O'Connell has his team dominating on pretty much both sides of the ball. Now, the two other coaches that I did consider for this award is Sean Payton, who has the Broncos close to clinching a playoff berth, and also the Commanders, who went from being a top 5 draft pick in the NFL draft last year to being an 11-5 team. So that's another pretty interesting race for an award this season, honestly. Right now, I'm going to discuss Defensive Player of the Year, and here's what I'm going to say. TJ Watt's probably going to win it. That's my official prediction. TJ Watt probably wins it. Who should win it, though? Patrick Surtain. So let me reiterate this once again before y'all run to the comments going crazy. Patrick Surtain should win it, but TJ Watt is probably gonna win it. Now, TJ Watt doesn't have a bad stat line, 11 sacks, 6 forced fumbles, but Pat Surtain is playing at a high level right now in his own right for a corner as well. This season, Patrick Surtain has 35 receptions allowed, 5 pass breakups, and a 39.1 passer rating when targeted. That means that quarterbacks have a good chance of having a better passer rating when the ball is thrown to the ground than when they throw it to Patrick Surtain. Do you know how insane that is for a corner? Now, a few websites have his passer rating at like 55.2, somewhere around that similar. But even if that's still the case, that's still a really good passer rating. That's still pretty locked down for the most part. There's no disrespect at all to TJ Watt, but Patrick Surtain has been playing at a whole other level this season. He's arguably the best defensive player in the league right now. And I did this earlier with the MVP. I said one guy will probably win it, but the other guy should definitely win it. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. I'm saying TJ Watt will probably win it, but Patrick Surtain, in my opinion, should definitely win this award this year. The two other guys I would put up for this award possibly is maybe Myles Garrett, but he's on a really bad Browns team. And surprisingly, Andrew Van Ginkel. For Offensive Player of the Year, this goes to Saquon Barkley. And you see, I got down when I said that because he's making the Giants like absolute fools. The Giants didn't think he was worth it, and now he is one of the best players in the league once again. Barkley is having a historic year this year. He has over 200 carries for 2,005 yards and 13 touchdowns, and he's averaging 5.8 yards a carry. He is also just 100 yards away from breaking Eric Dickerson's record, and if he plays Week 18, he is probably going to break that record. He's playing the Giants unironically enough, so it'll be some crazy storytelling if he breaks the record versus his former team. That record alone probably won't even tell you how good Saquon has been this season. He has the most rushing touchdowns of 60 yards or more with 4 in the season, tied with Adrian Peterson and Jim Brown. He has the 10th most scrimmage yards in NFL history through 11 games with 1,649. He is the 6th player in NFL history to have multiple touchdowns with at least 7 yards in the same game. And like I said before, he's making the Giants like absolute fools. The other two guys I put up for this award are Derrick Henry, who's having a pretty good year in his own right for the running back position, and also Jamar Chase, who is, doing what Jamar Chase always does, absolutely cooking. Next, we have the MVP, and this is a very controversial one. It's going to be very heated on both sides, no matter who I say should win. So go ahead in the comments and fight, because no matter who I say should win this award, you guys are going to have something to say, so feel free to do what you want. But it's obviously between Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen. And I'm going to state my candidacy for both guys, honestly. First, let's take a look at Lamar Jackson. Over 3,000 yards passing, 39 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. On the ground, over 800 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns. Josh Allen, over 3,000 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. On the ground, 500 yards rushing, and 12 touchdowns. In total, Josh Allen has 40 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson has 43. Now let's look at who has the better weapons and offensive line. I think the Bills have the better offensive line in this position, but I think the Ravens have the better skill weapons like running backs and receivers here. The Bills, on the other hand, have already clinched the AFC East, and the Ravens have to do a lot more to clinch that AFC North. They need to win, and they also need the Steelers to lose, I think. But I gotta say, the better performing quarterback at this point, it's Lamar Jackson. At one point, I said Josh Allen probably should have won this, but now I'm saying Lamar Jackson should be the favorite for this award. But for some reason, I have a good feeling that Josh Allen is going to be the one to win this award. Bad or good feeling, honestly. And I think that's probably going to be the wrong decision here, honestly. Allen has been performing well despite not having a great team, but Lamar Jackson doesn't really necessarily have great weapons either. He has the support of a good running back in Derrick Henry, but outside of Zay Flowers and maybe Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, he doesn't have anything crazy. So, one point I was saying Josh Allen should win this award, and I think he's going to win it. But the real winner of this award, it should be Lamar Jackson. And honestly, I'm probably going to leave it at that. And I'm going to leave you guys in the comments to debate on that. Yell at me and do whatever you want with it. But those are my official NFL predictions video. My official prediction on MVP is Josh Allen. But again, I'm telling you, Lamar Jackson should win it. You guys feel free to yell at me in the comments. Do whatever you want. Let me know in the comments down below what you think. If you haven't yet and you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and tap the bell icon for future football content. And follow me on all my social medias down below in the description. And I will hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.